It was a happy homecoming for Jim Caldwell here at Lucas Oil Stadium as the Detroit Lions defeat the Indianapolis Colts in the season opener 39-35. It was just 3 months ago that a sold-out crowd in Joe Louis Arena was united in song. But they weren't singing about a city boy born and raised in South Detroit, but rather happy birthday to an 88-year-old man that was born in a barn in Saskatchewan and then later grew up in Saskatoon. Here in the state of Michigan, this is what an empty gym sounds like. But in the state of Wisconsin, there's some new rules in place that limits what fans can chant during games. This has some people thinking that eventually, this is what a crowded gym will sound like. What I'm holding right here are called hematites. It comes from the Latin word for bloodstone. Now to most folks, these are just rock magnets. But it's been said that they have healing powers. And if you're headed to Ishpeming to play high school football, you might need them. That's because the hematites up there are not about majestical healing powers. No, they're more into the business of sending people home beaten and disappointed. And business is booming. Now, Jim Caldwell said he doesn't like it when people say that the Lions backed into their playoff spot. But consider this. A month ago, this team was in the driver's seat for a division title. There's really no other way to describe it. This story is brought to you by the letter H. Because here at Holly High School in Holly, Michigan,
it's all about the H.
You don't have to look far to find one. They wear it with pride. They walk on it every hour in the hallway. This one right here, it used to be part of the hardwood. And if you turn to the right, you'll see the school's Hall of Fame. There's a lot of history in that hollowed corridor. There's little doubt you are in Bronco country. Okay, hold on a second. This spells Broncos? What is this H doing here? And who the H put it here?
In 1945, Bruce Dreyer, along with his fellow student council members, decided that it would be important that we have a nickname.
So what do they call you guys?
Broncos.
Broncos, but it's spelled Bronchos.
So?
And there actually is Broncos spelling in the dictionary with an H.
Now my phone here, it thinks we're in Denver because it keeps wanting to spell Broncos the same way the defending Super Bowl champs do. But there is a perfectly good explanation as to why there's an H in the name. I'll let these guys spell it out for you.
B-R-O-N-C-H-O-S, Broncos, Holly Broncos, let's go!
It's because when you sing a little fight song ditty, B-R-O-N-C-H-O-S, it just flows better with an H than without an H.
Bruce Dreyer wanted something unique when he was looking for his school's nickname. Well, what he came up with has been turning heads even in this town for decades.
The Holly Bronchos. I think it sounds a lot like nachos. They always say it's Bronchos, and I always have to correct them, but it's kind of funny.
The H may be silent.
H stands for Holly.
But their fans are not.
I love Holly!
Holly is where the heart is. Evan Kimball was always down to play a game of catch. But one day, Dad was taking a nap, and Evan didn't have time for him to roll out of bed. So Mom took him out back to the shed, painted a big X on it, and said, just throw the ball at this. Evan left some marks on the shed that day, but they were not as big as the one that he made on a form similar to this one at the Secretary of State's office. Wednesday was not your typical day at Dow Diamond. Sure, this is a baseball game between Ogemaw Heights and Gladwin, but this game goes well beyond balls and strikes. This was a day to honor a young ball player whose actions made him a hero to many. But they didn't happen in the batter's box. 18-year-old Evan Kimball had it all. He had the girl, and he had a spot on the Aquinas College baseball team.
Evan was a very giving, funny young man. He loved his community, his family, his friends.
On October 10, 2015, Evan's life tragically ended in a car crash. As devastating as that was for his parents, his mother Lydia couldn't help but think back to the day she took him to get his driver's license.
I had walked out. He came out after me and said, "Hey, Mom, I checked the little box." And then we had a discussion afterwards of what that could mean to someone else.
That checkmark certified Evan as an organ and tissue donor. His organs went on to save the lives of 5 people.
He made a very mature decision to help someone else if anything had happened to him.
April is National Donate Life Month. Fans at the game were encouraged to sign up as donors.
In Michigan alone, there's over 3,000 people on the waiting list. Nationally, there's over 100,000 people on the waiting list, so there's certainly not enough organs to go around.
That's why today the message was a simple one: give like Evan.
He was meant to do something much greater for someone else.
Sad news today in Detroit as beloved Red Wing Gordie Howe has died. NBC 25's Duff Tyler was in downtown Detroit where members of the team and their fans are remembering Mr. Hockey.
Well, Dave, it was just 3 months ago that a sold-out crowd in Joe Louis Arena was united in song. But they weren't singing about a city boy born and raised in South Detroit, but rather happy birthday to an 88-year-old man that was born in a barn in Saskatchewan and then later grew up in Saskatoon. Gordie Howe didn't arrive in Detroit until the mid-1940s, and it didn't take long for Motor City to embrace him. Every sport has a legend, but only one man has ever had the name of his sport attached to him.
He's Mr. Hockey. You know, he helped put hockey on the map.
You know, you don't really see a Mr. Football, a Mr. Whatever else, but we have a Mr. Hockey.
Known for scoring goals and roughing it up on the ice for the Red Wings, Gordie Howe held on to that title even as other players made a name for themselves in the NHL.
It's so unfortunate that we lost such a Red Wing great and a great ambassador to the game of hockey. But all the tributes that are going to come out now, I know I'm just going to sit back and read these and just, remember Gordie Howe and what he meant to me and what he meant to the Detroit Red Wings.
For 6 decades, there was no stopping number 9. And he also had a knack for goofing it up with the players and fans.
One time I was going through the locker room and I tripped over something and I turned around and there's Gordie with his foot out laughing at me.
For the city of Detroit, it's the loss of an icon. Somebody who embodied this town's blue-collar image while always wearing a smile.
Those are the type of people that fans fall in love with. And I think everywhere today, whether you've been a Red Wing fan or you're just a hockey fan, it's a sad day.
This is obviously one of the greatest that had ever played the game and just always had time for the fans. And that's, to me, was Gordie Howe.
Now, many fans on social media today, Dave, are talking about the passing of Gordie Howe. They feel like a fitting tribute to Gordie would be to name the new Red Wings arena after him.
Well, that makes sense. I'm hearing that from a lot of people because he is a legend in the city of Detroit. But the possibility of that, probably not good, but probably everyone you talk to, they agree they would love to see that name.
Indeed. In fact, I talked to Red Wings officials today, and they tell me that the statue and the banners and all the pictures that you just saw, those are definitely coming to the new arena. You will definitely feel the presence of Mr. Hockey in Little Caesars Arena.